should work.
All right. I'm gonna let you hold on to this. You've never.
Wait, what? What?
No, it's already recording.
Oh.
You can let it down, whatever.
Oh.
I wish I could like see like what it looks
what it
like.
looks
Oh,
like.
you can't do that?
No, you have to upload it first.
No, you can. There's an app on your, or maybe that's on a new one. You get an app on your phone and you can see what
Is
it.
there one where you can see in the back? Oh.
Not like a regular camera.
It'll Bluetooth to a phone
And that's how
and
you
show
can
it
see
on the phone.
Oh.
That's only if you have the app. I didn't download the app.
Oh.
Alright.
They should. It's for $300. You should be able to see it.
Well, the app's free.
Yeah.
Okay. Well, then that's
part.
fine.
I didn't download it. Okay. You want to start off with your name and then what you do?
Sure. My name is Bill Newman. I'm a estimator / insurance adjuster for Progressive Insurance.
Oh yeah. Also, are you giving consent for us to record this interview?
You can absolutely record the interview.
Thank you. Okay. Let me let's start off. You want to start off with the ones we made up in class? Or
Sure.
yours first? I think yours is probably more in-depth.
But we have some like very general ones,
Yeah.
and then
Start general and get more in depth.
So far? Good. Thank you. Alright. So I told you that this is about Asian and mixed race heritage interview. Can you tell us what exactly is your ethnicity mix?
All right. I'm on my mom's side. I'm a quarter Japanese and a quarter Dutch. And my dad's side is mostly Eastern European, Polish, Ukrainian, and Russian.
Nice. That's awesome.
Maybe a little German. We're not, it's kind
Not
of.
exactly too sure, but it's
Yeah.
out
Well,
there, right?
see, I was a history major,
Uh-huh.
so I know like
There's
the areas where my ancestors were from generally changed hands like a bunch of times over the centuries. So there's probably a lot of mixing going around,
like anywhere else.
Yeah.
Alright. And then from that, let's start off with how do you identify yourself now against your heritage?
There are like, I don't know, it's kind of a day-to-day thing, like being as mixed as I am. Some days I'll feel like really like, it's weird, like some days I'll feel like really, really like European, like Eastern European, like basically standard white guy. And then some days I'll be like, I'll feel really Japanese.
Because it's totally opposite.
Yeah, completely opposite, like different mindsets and stuff.
Right.
But there will be days where I'll react to something, or I'll be in a situation and just be like, and react as though I'm like in Tokyo.
that's awesome.
Like react as a Japanese dude, like, and just get. Well, for me at least, I really consider like my like I have a fairly short temper. I consider that to be like severely Japanese. Yeah, that's like straight from that side. So it's, it depends on how I react to situations, it kind of changes how I feel and changes how I identify from day to day. Yeah.
Right. Okay. That's a good one. I didn't never think about it that way.
Yeah, I mean, I can honestly almost like feel a shift in my attitude and like my almost like my emotional reaction to things, and I can be like, oh wow, I just was completely like militaristic Japanese, like samurai style. It's kind of interesting,
Militaristic Japanese style. I like that.
Yeah. Well, I don't know if it's like, because you could like kind of try and analyze it like, well, I'm putting all these kind of emotions on this particular part of my heritage because it seems to fit, and then shifting other emotions to various parts. Yeah, it's kind of a way of compartmentalizing myself.
Making yourself whole.
Yeah.
I feel it.
Yeah.
Okay. I think one of them was, over time, have you ever changed the way you felt about your heritage? Like, when you were a kid, did you identify yourself differently as opposed to now?
Yeah. When I was younger, I identified much more with the Japanese side. We went to Japan a lot when I was younger.
That place is
So from the time, like my first passport, I was 2.5 months old. Like my dad was holding me in his hand to get the passport picture taken. So my first visit to Japan, I was 2.5 months old. I haven't been to Japan since 1997.
Oh, wow.
So not going there as often, not
changes.
being around my family, and then like when I was in high school, I went from being a pretty skinny dude. I was 145 pounds when I was a freshman in high school. I gained 100 pounds in high school. I graduated weighing like 235, 240, and going through that physical change, becoming like a much bigger guy, like. It really kind of made it, the physical change in my body made it a lot harder to relate to the Japanese side of me. That and not going to Japan a lot. I mean, even when I was 97, I was 12. Last time I was in Japan, Japanese people started reacting to me differently because I started looking like a white person. When I was a lot younger, I was.
There's your Japanese side that
I looked more Asian.
Okay.
I mean, obviously I didn't have a beard, but I looked kind of like my features were not as pronounced, and it was like I looked a lot more Asian. So when I was in Japan, I didn't get like the white guy in Japan reaction, which is like people following you around. And like taking pictures and stuff. I kind of blended in more. I had a Tokyo accent when I spoke Japanese. I could actually speak Japanese a little bit because I was taking Japanese. Then, entered high school and all kind of changed. My body changed. I started taking Spanish because Japanese wasn't offered at my high school. And I didn't go to Japan for,
Still haven't been there.
Yeah, it's been almost 20 years.
That's crazy.
So that kind of shift really made it a lot more difficult to connect with that side of me.
Yeah, that makes sense.
So it's kind of an interesting transition point, like entering high school.
But yeah, your connections with that type of culture also changes the way you feel about it.
Yeah.
That's true.
I mean, I still try to hold on to what Japanese language skills I have, but it's really hard. Like I'm really good at learning languages fast. I can pick stuff up real quick. I don't really have an accent in most languages, but I lose it real fast.
If you don't use it often.
If I don't use it often.
Right.
So like, I'll start a sentence in Japanese and end it in Spanish. Because I remember I actually use Spanish a lot more in my work. At work. So it gets kind of weird. Trying to do that.
No, I feel it. So you do still remember some Japanese then?
Yeah. Very little bit.
Can you understand it? Pretty much?
I mean, I can get the gist of a conversation, but that's way more just being in tune with body language and stuff. Like if it's over the phone, I have no idea what it is. generally. I mean, unless it's very basic stuff. I would put my Japanese at like the level of like a small child.
What about reading and writing?
I can't read it at all. I can still write some.
That's cool.
Yeah, I never really learned kanji. So in Japanese, there's 3 alphabets: hiragana, katakana, and kanji. And kanji's the Chinese characters, right? Well, since I never really learned kanji, you can't really read Japanese without knowing kanji,
Right.
because those are like,
It's the basics.
yeah, I mean, well, part of a sentence will be in hiragana. Most of like persons, places, things, most nouns will be in kanji. So like, I can get the verbs and the subject, but I don't know any of the nouns. Makes it kind of difficult to decipher.
Yeah.
I know for a lot of like easier reading material, they'll break down the kanji into the
Right,
hiragana.
it'll have the hiragana on top of the kanji, and then I can follow along. But even then, because there's a lot of kanji where you can read it 2 ways.
Right.
So like, this character could mean this, or it can mean this, and they'll have it on top and on the bottom, and you're like,
It's all
well,
context.
you need the context to figure out which way to read the character,
And now you get confused.
and now you're confused because you don't know what the hell's going on. So it's really disconnecting that way.
Yeah.
You know?
That's about where I-
About it, you're like,
It's about where I stopped my learning of Japanese.
Yeah.
I can still write and read hiragana and katakana. Once I got into the kanji, it became so overwhelming.
Yeah.
And with